recorded on VHS and downloaded to cassette for maximum audio quality.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Surf Shorts. Today I have with me Jacob. What's up, dude?
What's up, Matt? How you doing, man?
Man, I am doing great. I tell you what, I was really stoked to run into you at 17th Street.
Yeah, that was a cool coincidence. Now we're sitting in the studio.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's always great to meet people organically like that, especially, hanging out in a surf shop.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody
that works in a surf shop should have some sort of surf story.
That's exactly right. Yeah. It would be hard not to. And, we were talking before we started recording, and, you're 2 generations below me, like in the surfing in this area.
You got a couple years on me.
Yeah. But I mean,
you don't look it though.
Oh, well, thank you. But, it's pretty cool because, you're talking about some guys that were older than you that were kids to me, like some of these very good surfers from the area, like Rob and Jonathan and Zach. Zach's a great surfer.
Yeah.
Like kids from that era.
Uncle Wappy.
Yeah. And, they're older than you, but they're younger than me. But we still all can have this weird web of, it's surfing, man. You're all connected somehow.
Yeah, we have such a great surf community. It's pretty rad. We live somewhere where the waves get subpar, but we have people that surf some of the biggest waves in the world, and it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people know about Mason.
Yeah.
Geez, good goodness. I mean, how could you not?
Me and Mace, we went to high school together.
Yeah, and comically,
we're the same age.
Comically, I knew his dad,
Yeah, Reggie's the man.
He is the man, yeah.
He's always looking out for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm much closer to his age than you, which is it's pretty funny. But Mason definitely has a lot of accolades, but there are other dudes here that are just crushing it. And sometimes it's underground, and then sometimes they pop up in the magazines,
Yeah, it's true. The bar is set pretty high in WB.
Yeah, it really is. And it's been that way for a long time. There's been a big surf scene here since there are guys, generation ahead of me that were traveling to Hawaii in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you've heard of some of these names, Will Allison, I'll say his last name because everybody knows who he is. And a lot of other guys his age that you haven't heard of. I've talked to them, and some of them just oh gosh, I can't be on the show because, one of the guys in particular was telling me some amazing stories about Hawaii. I mean, these stories were epic.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I just don't feel comfortable on being on the show because we have kind of a code. And if you talk about these things, then it's as if you're bragging. I'm like, well, if you have a great story, you're not bragging.
Celebrating.
Yeah, celebrating. Yeah, that's cool. And before we go any further, I do want to tell everybody out there that's listening that you are the head of Live Fearlessly Foundation.
Yep.
And just tell us about that real quick.
We're a nonprofit 501c3 that enables and encourages people with cystic fibrosis to get out and live a healthy, active lifestyle. To help them have more fulfilling lives and have something to look forward to. Like, I have CF, and so for me, surfing's been what's got me through my toughest times. Being in the hospital for weeks at a time and knowing that I've got to get stronger to get back out in the ocean just kept me pushing.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to pass this passion for activity, surfing, on to other people with CF, because I know when you have that, it makes you live longer. Simple as that, yeah.
Yeah, when you have passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to do a whole episode on Live Fearlessly. So if anybody's out there thinking, Perkins, why are you interrupting this guy? We're going to tell the story. We're going to tell the story on this show. And then we'll dedicate an entire episode to Live Fearlessly.
Man, that would be really cool.
I'll be thrilled to do that. And we'll you can drop some stories in that one. I'm going to say it because I'm just going to say it. Like, you rip. You're a very good surfer. And you were not going to say that, but I will. And I don't know if anybody out there was listening was thinking, well, maybe if he has cystic fibrosis, it would be hard for him to surf because it's so physically active.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've seen you surfing some.
I think if I didn't have CF, I wouldn't have surfed as big of waves that I have.
Really pushed you.
Yeah, just the thought of, doing something that maybe nobody else with CF has done before and using that to help encourage people to live fearlessly and try harder. And that's what's made me really push it in the ocean.
Yeah.
Maybe if I didn't have CF, I'd just be, surfing head high waves or something. I don't know.
Playing it safe like myself.
Playing it safe, yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely pushing it. I went through your Instagram and you're just doing acid drops like at this ride. It looked like backdoor, but I think it was just like Mexico.
Yeah, that was mainland Mex.
Yeah, mainland Mex.
I've done some step offs with Brian Connolly out there, and man, I love that. I'm going back this summer to do it. I'm finally strong and healthy again, and it's been a while, and I'm stoked. It's gonna be great. So
it had you knocked down
in Mex?
No. I was saying. Oh, you said CF, you're strong again. CF had you knocked down.
Oh, it had me knocked down so bad. Like, there's a breakthrough medication that came out for CF called Trikafta.
Yep.
It was approved by the FDA about 3 years ago, and that medication gave me another chance at life. I was on a lung transplant list before that, and
unbelievable.
Yeah, they say when you get a lung transplant, the average lifespan is 5 years after that, and so my mindset was all out of whack, man. Like it.
Sure.
Yeah. It also pushed me to get the waves that I did because I thought it was my last chance when I did that.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude. I mean that's heavy. I mean, what you're saying right now.
And then the unbelievable happened. This medication came out and it worked for me, and it doesn't work for everybody with CF. So that's why sometimes I'm cautious of talking about it.
Sure.
Because I don't want to brag too much, but it's been a sheer miracle for myself.
Yeah. And when we do, the show on Live Fearlessly, we'll talk a little more technically about it. I'm a chemistry teacher and I'm constantly sort of up on science.
Oh, you must know all about it then.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you remember when we first met.
Yeah.
I can't get too technically into it, but I had just sort of studied the medicine and you were telling me what it did. And I said, yeah. So we'll talk more about that.
Cool.
Because it really seems so simple, but it's not.
Yeah. I don't know because I am not a chemist or anything like that.
I just mean like the basic idea of how it breaks up.
Yeah.
What's in your lungs?
Refolds the CFTR protein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Processed salt.
Yeah. It's the salt. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dude, drop a story on us.
I started going out to the North Shore because I looked up to people like Jonathan Mincher and Mark Yonkers and Rob Brown, and they were always going to the North Shore every winter, and I wanted to be just like them. So, lo and behold, me and my best friend Evan Barton, when we turned 18, we left a note under our parents' door and took off to Hawaii in the middle of the night.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And we slept in tents and on people's couches, the whole nine, and yeah, we were encouraged to do this through Yonks and Robin Minch because they had gone out and camped out on the North Shore before too. So we were like, this is what we want. We want to go surf pipe and we want to get barreled. We want to push our surfing limits. And so if we ask our parents, they're going to be like, no, like Evan hadn't graduated high school yet. He was doing online high school and his mom, no chance, would let him go if we told him so.
Oh my gosh.
We let him know we let them know right when we got up there, and they were not happy, but they ended up forgiving us, and we came home a month and a half later. we were.
And you had scored some waves and had some adventures.
Surf pipeline, paddled out to an outer reef named Phantoms with Mincher and Yonks, and
so it's good to have some Carolina guys there that can sort of like guide you.
Yeah.
Right? You're not like paddling out.
It was rad for sure. It was amazing to have them to look up to.
Yeah. So tell me, I know the story's not about this, but tell me about surfing pipe for the first time. You go up to this legend of a wave that you just grown up watching. Was it just like you expected or much gnarlier?
My best buddy that ran away with me, Evan. He hadn't got his boards yet. His boards got lost in the airport. Oh,
That's okay. Yeah, so, here we go. Just start up. Go. He hadn't got his boards yet. There.
He hadn't got his boards yet. His boards got lost through the travels on the airplane, and
how many boards did he lose?
he ended up getting them, but it took like a week for him to finally get his boards.
So he was out there boardless.
Yeah,
right?
He was out there boardless, and like he didn't want to ride one of my boards because it was like huge pipe and like scary looking, and but he kept giving me shit to go out and try it, and I paddled out and kind of sat in the channel. That was my first session at pipe. I was watching Slater drop in and do some crazy waves, just completely humbled and astonished by what was going on.
And even if the wave was like not a superhuman wave to ride, it's so crowded. Also, it's like super dangerous. And it's crowded, and everybody in the crowd destroys it. Yeah,
so that winter, I never really got a good wave at pipe that winter.
That's okay.
But I went back. I've been to Hawaii like 5 times, but one of my trips, I was over there doing some philanthropy work for the Mauiola Foundation. And the Mauiola Foundation is run by like all these big name Hawaiians like Kalal Alexander and Sonny Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm helping them out with their events, and I'm paddling out the pipeline with them, and they're calling me into waves. And it's like, that I could get waves like that, but it's hard to go out there and not know anybody because, the best surfers in the world are at pipe all winter.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Sonny Garcia was like, is this before?
Yeah, this is pre.
What happened. Yeah. Because that certainly was a tragedy. So this was a while ago that you were out there with him.
I feel so bad for Stone. It must be tough on him.
What do you say about that? About someone that's been at like the highest high, and you don't see this? Yeah, like
it doesn't make sense to us because we're not going through that, right? But people go through all sorts of things, and you'd never know. Yeah,
and I understand. I do understand that you never know.
Yeah,
you never know. So you're in Hawaii, and right, and you've gone out to pipe. Now Evan's got his boards, and you guys are traveling around.
Back to the first trip to pipe, and.
And
Yonkers is like introducing us and showing us around and stuff. And that winter, he actually ended up getting one of the Wave of the Winter nominees.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for winning I think it's $10,000 for Wave of the Winter.
I think they just came out with one of those, or I just saw some clip about it. It was a Wave.
Yeah, Yonk's got a sick one. He went on a bomb at back door.
Right.
And went left through pipe,
Oh, so he backdoored pipe from back door.
That's how all the North Carolina guys get the waves out there. They got to sit deeper than everybody else, or else they're not getting it.
Yeah, that makes sense because nobody's going to just let you have it.
No, definitely not.
So you guys are out there, and you said, who are you with, Fisher?
Oh, that was another year.
Oh, Jesus. All right, hang on.
Different year.
Right. All right, here we go. So you guys are out there, you, Evan, Jonathan.
Yeah, and me and Evan are kind of camping out, just winging it, eating chicken nuggets from the grocery store every day, on a budget, you know? Yeah. But we were loving it. We were in heaven. We were waking up at the crack of dawn every day and surfing until it was dark, and it didn't matter if we were sleeping on the ground because we were so tired from surfing all day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, where'd you put your tents? Were you camping legally, or?
We were camping under a friend's house, and then Dylan Kowalski.
Not personally. I know
he grew up in Wrightsville Beach with us. He's one our age, and he has a house right at Rocky Point, and so we would go over there and we'd bounce around. We met new people. Just move our tent around.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. When I was out of college, one of my friends was in grad school, and we lived in a house down right at Crystal Pier, and he had a tiny little trailer, and he just came and parked it in our yard and plugged it into
Really?
Yeah. It didn't last that
He
long.
got beachfront property for really cheap then, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And then the landlord was like, no.
That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
You want to pay some rent? Maybe.
Yeah. Ironically, I think he just slept on the couch for the next month. But yeah, that's cool. So you did a whole 6 weeks on the North Shore out of a tent on the cheap.
We were at a tent like half the time, and then like on friends' couches the other half of the time.
Yeah, that's cool. And I bet you met a bunch of like professional surfers that
definitely
you've been watching.
I mean, the North Shore
their
is
career,
the mecca of pro surfing.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt you could walk down the beach on a really good day at Pipe and not just be like, I know that guy. I know that guy. Yeah. I mean, like,
it's like in the wintertime, like pretty much starts in November through March is just like one huge swell after the next.
Yeah.
If you look at the Surfline forecast, it's never smaller than like 6 to 8 feet pretty much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I don't even know. I have friends that go out and do that. I have a guy a friend of mine who I know I don't see very often, but I know we surf together, and he's still doing it, wintering on the North Shore, living the life. And man, you can't fault anybody for that.
Yeah. So that was great. Being out there for the first time with Ev, surfing all these waves, like. I mean, the whole East Coast crew looks out for each other. It's amazing. Like Will Scudin's out there with his brother Cliff Scudin, and everybody's just helping each other out. They just are stoked. There's so much stoke there.
Yeah, I was talking to this kid Carter. Do you know who Carter Catches Waves is? He's from New Jersey. He's a 6th grader who's surfed over 1,000 days in a row.
Really?
You know what I'm talking about?
That was good on him, man. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and he was telling me. On the phone, I think we were talking about he was going to be on the show, and he was telling me that Will Scudin bought the wave pool in the mall.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. It looks like he's got a lot going on. He's got a surf school, a wave pool now, and then he's pushing the limit when it comes to big waves.
Yeah.
Surfing Jaws, going left at Jaws.
That's crazy.
Stuff,
yeah. And like for myself and most of the people that are listening, like that is so far gone. It's like not even something I imagine doing. It's so incredible.
Yeah. Well, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah. It's just so far out of my league that I like when I'm imagining, like maybe if I was much younger or whatever, but when I'm imagining like, oh, I would like to do this and be the raddest surf ever, it'd be like a foot or two overhead wave that just peels off, this point break wave.
Yeah.
That's my fantasy.
Each their own.
Yeah.
Everybody, different strokes for different folks.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, hey man, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And we're going to have you back.